We got a delicious turkey on the table.
So let's see how they cook. Yeah, let's see how they cook. Let's see how they cook this turkey. This is more so family.
What are y'all relationships looking like around this time? Like,
we spent our last Christmas with both our families together, and that was the first, and that was like cool. Got a big ass house and celebrated, but for Thanksgiving we separate.
How was that though? Like,
I always have family.
It's okay. We keep in touch. You know.
Yeah.
I don't expect I'm not about to not be with my family on Thanksgiving, and I don't expect for him to not be with his family.
That's dope.
And you know what's
I
so
don't want to
crazy?
be with your family.
Well, what you said, I'm so embarrassed to bring whoever I'm dealing with on
To the family.
Thanksgiving.
Your people?
I'm embarrassed as hell. Yes.
Really?
Yes. They are so like
Your family?
Yeah. They're so judgmental. It's kind of like if I bring somebody, it's like I'm going to marry you. I never brought a man to Thanksgiving. I can't do it. I don't have the heart to do it. I never did it. It's not in my book. My teeth just ring on my finger.
I'm not interested. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a new level.
No, it's like my family is like, it's really weird. It's like I never felt comfortable to bring a man around my family on holidays. Like, I just feel like if we're not getting married, like, that's just what it is. Moving on, like, what's the pros and the cons of going, like, and having sex on a first date?
I could just only know cons. I mean, pros. Pro is you would know if it's good or not, right? It's like, yes, I'm gonna use that analogy, test driving a car first, right? Yeah. You don't want no surprises. Yes, you can connect with somebody, but sometimes you don't have no time for that. Like, you just sometimes want to cut out the fat and you want to get straight to it. If we vibed that night and the dinner was great, conversation was great, we had sex and we were off, maybe I try again. And then if it's off both times sexually, I'm just like, hey, you dodged the bullet. Yeah. You know, so that's my pro, you know. And it's a con at the same time because like I found out, like, damn, the con is it was bad twice. You get what I'm saying? Because the con, no. The pro was you found out it didn't work, but then it's like it took me 2 tries and both tries are bad. So hey.
Yeah, but you gotta take 2 tries and take 2 months.
Wow.
Because you take 2 months and then now the con is, okay, I waited 2 months. Yeah, I wasted my time because this sex is trash. I mean,
Okay.
So the movie What Happened in Vegas with Ashton Kutcher?
I literally just watched it the other day.
It's such a funny movie, right? But basically, they both were like, you know, single and in their limbos of their lives, and they both were in Vegas. They had a great one-nighter. He married her in Vegas in a one-night drunk type of thing. And then they wrote, like, the next morning, they're like, yo, so, you know, we're not together, right? Yeah, we're not together. And then they got into an argument, and one of them hits the jackpot. But they technically were married. So the judge ordered them to stay together for, I think it was 6 months. And then basically, if they could do that, they could get the divorce and then split the money half. But what ended up happening was, you know, by the end of the movie, they spent 6 months together that they actually liked each other. So like, they had time to grow with each other. They had time to learn each other. They already had great fun with each other on that first day. But now they were forced to spend more time with each other. And then eventually, even after they got the money and they went separate ways, they ended up coming back because it's what they were comfortable with.
But that's typically how relationships work. Like, you fall for people who are in your vicinity. It's just a natural effect of, like, being around somebody every day. Like, for me, my husband, like, I met my husband in law school. We were friends, and we started hanging out. Then we started drinking together. Then we started studying together. Then we started fucking. Yeah. It just happened just like that. Like, people, people in your vicinity or people you particularly are gonna just like have deeper connections with, like just more naturally.
Yeah.
You know.
So I think that
I don't know. I couldn't do it. The whole contract. Like, could you do it?
But think about it like this. The problem that you might have is that a con when you have sex, and I'm just playing devil's advocate. I am an advocate for having sex on the first date. But the con for having sex on the first date is potentially you could void somebody out that you might really, really rock with because it was too easy up front.
If you are really looking for love, you don't look at it like that.
And to me, that goes both ways. I feel like some women can think that of a man, and a man can think that of a woman. A woman can sleep with you on the first date. That's a con to me. That's why I don't like to do that. Like, I really step away from that because I feel like if I can sleep with you on the first day, then maybe you're too easy for me. Then you probably give that dick to everybody. I don't want it then. So, you know?
I'm not saying that's what we do.
It just makes me feel better, I guess.
Do you feel the same way? Hold on, real quick. So do you feel the same way if you say, yo, let's go on a trip for the first day? Oh, I'm not going to take this. You take every girl. That wallet is trash. That wallet. Oh, why isn't that the same?
No, but it is the same though. some
It's
you
too
know
many
some
cons
some
to that.
females might it's not the same thing as having sex. Maybe going away is more valuable.
I don't know you. Why
too.
you going away with me?
No,
I'm not
but
going
it
away
is
with
the
you.
same thing. A man offering to take you on a trip just because, like, you can literally do that to anybody. Like, I'm not special. You got the money and you flying out all the time. Like, yeah, you're taking any bitch you can.
You know that women don't
No,
think
what's
that.
so
Thank
crazy?
you. Thank you. But go ahead now. Know what you think.
what's
Thank
so
you,
crazy?
Rico.
Like, it's crazy because my last situation, like, we had sex on the first date. And it's because we got so drunk. My intention was to I want him to get to know me and tease him.
And then that shit went out the
Whatever.
window.
And then we
is
got
opposite.
so drunk, I woke up, we had sex. I'm like, what the hell?
I'm so hurt with my drawers.
I was really mad that we had
that is
sex.
how it
I was
goes.
really, really mad that we had
Why?
sex, actually, because I wanted him to.
'Cause she had a
I
plan.
felt like I had a plan for him. Like, the plan.
You tell God your plan. He does what?
plan was
The
for
devil had a better one.
Yeah, and we ended up having
No,
sex.
he had a plan for
and
her.
eventually, like, nothing really changed. We kept going on dates because the sex was actually really good. We kept going on dates, being each other. But eventually, because I wanted to get to know him, eventually in like 2-3 months, I started really seeing his true colors. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like, I'm like, damn. Oh, that was the devil in person. So I'm like, holy shit.
But think about how many men have sex with somebody on the first night, no condom, and then end up having a child. Or end up with some type of STD.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? I mean, women too, but I'm just saying, since we're talking about men wouldn't want to sign this contract, would you rather do 5 years in jail? Or would you rather have a baby with a woman that you don't even know?
Baby.
Or would you rather have an STD that you can't get rid of for the rest of your
Baby.
life?
All right, the STD part you got, because one thing that I've realized, that having a child has nothing to do with you or whoever the mother of the child may be. I don't care about that. The child is the rest of my life. You're not the rest of my life. I might have to coexist with you. I might have to negotiate with you from time to time, but that is not a permanent thing in the sense where I'm doing it on a day-to-day basis. So if I have a child, and especially because I just had a child, right? And the woman that I had a child with lives in Los Angeles, and I live in New Jersey. So, but the good thing is that we found great common grounds, and we have a great understanding. And then I realized that, hey, look, if things don't work out, it's cool. You can do your thing. Well, I'm gonna say this. It also matters the type of person you have a child with.
You don't make sense.
I'm waiting for you to
Oh, wait,
finish.
how many? I just want to hear the answer.
I feel like the
But basically what I'm saying is that having a child is not, people think that having a child is a con with somebody that you don't want, but it is
I grew up. I don't know who else grew up with parents who aren't married, but I grew up as a child of two people who eventually separated.
Me too.
And so I think that you don't necessarily know until you live in that child. Well, you probably know, but you said you did. But you don't know until you live in that child's place. Like, there's a lot of like bad shit that comes with having to deal with two parents in two different households in two different states and two different methodologies of parenting. Like, it's a completely different situation. So the thing is that regardless if they get along, it's fine and all. But if they don't want to necessarily be with that person, there's still going to be some type of friction.
So
it can be. Let's say it can.
No, I'm saying too many people stay together. When you stay together for a child, it is worse for that child because you're not there for each other. There's no way that I could possess happiness with you, and the only thing that we have is just basically a common negotiation to be here for something else that's outside of us.
Because yes, you shouldn't be with somebody solely because of a child. It's very unhealthy for the child too, because you and that partner may be fighting and the energy may be really bad, and now it's affecting your child, because I've been there.
We'll be fighting.
But what I did wanted to say was, you had mentioned that it's not a permanent thing, when that is not true, because even if you speak to your daughter's mother once a month, that person, you're speaking with that person once a month until the day you die. That person is permanent in your life. That child is permanent in your life. That mother is permanent in your life.
I guess it's technically permanent.
If you have two involved parents, so I think we have to qualify that.
Yes.
If you have two
But
involved
we're talking about
no, but we have to clarify what Naisha's saying. If you have two involved parents, then yes, those parents have to communicate and co-parent and talk for the rest rest of that child's life. Even me at my age, let's say if I had a party and both of my parents have to be there. Let's say if I'm hosting Thanksgiving and both of my parents have to be in my house together across the hall from each other, and I'm 50 years old. That's what they got to deal with.
I don't want to say that's
attached to that person for the rest of
I just feel like,
So true.
okay, we're talking about
That's not
pros
true.
and cons of having a baby with somebody you don't want to be with. The pros, you get to have a baby. You know what I'm saying? You get to keep your baby. That's just what it is. You have your baby. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing you could do about it because some people are never going to have a child. If I'm on my age where I want to have a baby, I'm going to keep that baby. I don't care what the cons is. It's my body. If I'm in my late 30s, I'm keeping that baby. Whatever the cons is, that's what it's going to be. But the cons is I know there's possibilities where he's not going to want to be in that baby life because he's not ready for no child. Or I know there's possibilities that the baby not going to be with this mother and the father for Thanksgiving, Christmas. And I know there's going to be a lot of loneliness for my baby and the baby might have daddy issues. But that's just what of the cons is having a baby with somebody that you don't want to have a baby with as a woman. I don't know for a man, but as a woman, that's what it is.
And that is the most selfish thing, and I know women do that. Women are the most selfish creatures when they do that.
Are you serious?
That's not
They're so selfish. It's the most. Well, no. It's I don't care. No. It's selfish. You know why it's selfish?
Why?
Because you just told me you don't care about your child's mental health enough because of what you're ready for. But what we gotta understand is that kids grow up damaged for the rest of their lives because you chose to have a baby with somebody who didn't want to have a baby and are now trying to force something that will never work.
So why?
No, they wanted a baby. No, they did. They did want a baby.
Who said they didn't want a baby?
No. Listen, they wanted a baby. You know why? Because they wanted a baby. Because they wouldn't have been fucking without a condom if they didn't want a baby.
Do that.
That's exactly what it is. If they didn't want the baby, they would have been like, "Yo, let me put this rubber on real quick."
They don't want to do that.
They wanted a baby.
Here, Rico.
Can I say why that sounds foolish? Wait, no. Please let me say why that sounds. That sounds so
Please
foolish.
clarify, Amanda,
I
because
just want to clarify that we're talking about the pros and cons of having a baby with someone that you're not going to be with, not someone that does not want the baby.
yes.
Oh, good point.
So it's not that the guy doesn't want the baby. That's not what we're talking about. It's just that we're not together. We're not in a relationship. So you can be okay with co-parenting, but you could be okay with just not being in a relationship with the mother.
Baby, not the relationship.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you don't want the baby.
That's a concept that probably like 80% of men won't even grasp because it's automatically, if you say, I'm having a baby, like what are we gonna do? They're automatically like, oh, this bitch trying to trap me.
Yes.
Instead of, let's bring a life into this world and try to raise it and be constructive. It's like, I feel like men wouldn't even be able to grasp the concept of like, oh, let's have this baby and like co-parent. Like that comes later, I feel. Like that comes for men once they realize like, oh shit, I can't do this. Now let's co-parent. I don't think it could, I would be surprised to find a relationship where a woman gets pregnant, comes to the man, and they mutually decide that we're gonna co-parent. I have yet to see that.
Okay, so
y'all know anybody who had a situation like that?
what I'm gonna say is first I'm gonna address Aaron's thing, and I say that analogy you use is foolish. That's almost equivalent to saying you wanted to get into a car accident because you want to drive past the speed limit.
Not the same.
It is the same because just because you have sex without a condom does not mean you plan to conceive a child.
He should accept, like what Donna said, that ticket that's gonna come with. That's a difference because when you have unprotected sex, yes, you don't know the person. If they have STD, yes, there's a chance that you can get the girl pregnant, but that's not what we're going into. We are thinking with our body parts, we're thinking with lust, we have the bear goggle eyes, so we're enjoying the moment. And then after the moment is done, then is where you be like, yo, I'm pregnant, or I caught an STD or STI, whatever, and then is where you be like, bro, you never asked this question. Well, miss, you never asked this question about what's my status and if I'm ovulating and all that. So I'm just saying you cannot sit there and say that. That's all I'm saying. It makes no sense to say that. The two doesn't equate.
If you go outside of this building today and you get on a bus and the bus says going to White Plains, New York, right? What is the chance that that bus will not go to White Plains?
That is me knowing.
No.
That is going to White Plains.
So on the front of the bus,
it says going to White Plains. On the front of the bus, and it says, if you enter me, you're guaranteed to get hit. We know it's a possibility.
Becoming somebody, you guys should.
Listen, for me, how I'm making a child. Yes, when I'm making a child, when my day comes, it was, you know what? Hey, Aaron, we've been together for a minute. I would like for us to conceive. That's me. That is me.
Hold on.
That is me.
Y'all men don't be like that.
That is me.
I want to go back, and please let me talk. Don't interrupt
I've never interrupted you.
What? I'm not saying nothing.
I want to go back to the car analogy. I want to go back to the car analogy. No, not the bus analogy, the car analogy. Where it was said that if you're speeding, that you don't expect to crash, but if you crash, you crash, right? So it's like if you're speeding, you know you're not supposed to be going over the limit. There's laws for a reason, right? You know you're not supposed to be going over that limit, but you are prepared for the consequences, right? You're prepared to be pulled over if you get caught, if the police pull you over. Crash, that's probably the worst that's gonna happen, right? So it's like, don't say that that's not what you were going for, because you know that that's what you're not supposed to do.
You think every time a man have raw sex?
I'm pretty sure you don't want to crash.
No, you think that's what you're thinking about?
You don't want to crash.
Was that what you were thinking about?
So what is it that...
If you allow a man to have sex, what are you thinking about? Raw, unprotected.
While you're in the hospital, crashed in a coma.
Please answer my question.
I'm not answering your question because I'm not finished my point.
Because she can't.
No. And I told either of you, don't interrupt me, and that's exactly what y'all doing. So when you're in a coma, in the hospital, and Oliver, what were you thinking? I didn't mean to, but you were speeding. You meant to speed, but you didn't mean to crash. That doesn't make any sense.
And I have to deal with the consequences.
You're dealing with the consequences. Yes. But don't say that that's not what you intended to happen, but you did exactly what led to that. Ooh. If that's not what you wanted, you would have never done that.
Answer my question, then I'm going to let Rico go.
What's the question?
If you allow a man to have unprotected sex with you, right? What is Amanda thinking? You, no hypotheticals.
Gonna get pregnant.
No. I need Amanda to talk, not Aaron.
No, I mean, for me, if I let you go unprotected in me, that means I could be ready for the consequence.
No. Are you thinking, oh, I want this man to have a baby with him? That's what I'm saying, because you're saying that. What are your thoughts?
If you were not a man that I did not want to have a baby with, I would not let you go raw in me.
And there we go.
I'm done.
Okay.
I answered the question.
There we go.
I answered the question.
No, it's so poetic.
Circle back. That's not poetic.
I'm done.
If you were not a man I did not want to have a baby with,
You know what? All right.
Going wrong.
Y'all don't want to lose today. Go ahead. Let him.
Thank you.
All right, no judgment. Let Nisha go.
And to circle back to the statement that Rico made, which that men are providers and men do everything they have to do for their children. There is such a thing called deadbeat fathers. They do exist. I know that you're not one, and that's great. God bless you.
Deadbeat mothers too.
God bless you that you're not
A very
one.
small majority. Let's be real.
It just doesn't get reported.
Because I have two daughters, two different fathers. And my first daughter's father, this is why, ladies at home, it is a con if you have a child and you are not ready to be with this man, because unfortunately I was with him from 13 to age 18, went through hell and back, physical abuse in the relationship. He was diagnosed bipolar. I went through hell and back with that guy, and he won't even come around my daughter now. He hasn't seen my daughter in over like 6 years.
His daughter.
It's my daughter. He hasn't seen my daughter in over 6 years. He doesn't call her. And mind you, we have joint custody, Rico. I gave him that. I was nice enough to give him that. And guess what? He does not see his daughter. He does not call his daughter. He does not see his daughter. He does not. You know what he is? $50 a week from child support, New Jersey.
This is crazy. I hate having to hold my tongue and wait for silence. But on what you said, let's just be real. A deadbeat is referring to like a flat line. Means you're not present. So you talking about like a woman
or
that
not
maybe,
operating.
You talking about a woman that maybe is possessive of her child or untrusting of her baby's father. But you're not talking about a deadbeat mom.
That's deadbeat.
So a deadbeat is somebody that don't do nothing.
No, a
But
deadbeat
then,
is.
moving, but then my next point.
I mean, we can look up deadbeat.
Hold on.
That's what I'm saying. It's a definition.
Let Donna go. Donna has
There is a
a
definition. There is a
Thank
definition for
Thank
deadbeat,
you.
and that means somebody who was like inactive in somebody's life. But
Or deadbeat means flatline.
exactly, which means
Inactive.
dead.
So,
Inactivity.
so there is there's an
Everybody
inactivity.
else got to speak.
All right,
I don't
but
know
then
what
my
she
next
has to
point, because I've been
say.
having to hold these points in.
She
My
wanted to
next
get her
point
ad-libs,
is-
but I couldn't get
and
mine.
I
I'm
very
just
much have
curious.
to say this because I've made sacrifices for myself that I felt were necessary. But when you sit up and say, if you want the baby, whatever, they don't want it, blah, blah. But you got to understand when a woman has to make the choice, whether you don't want the baby, whether they don't want the baby, to go and get rid of a baby, let's be real, she's killing a life. That is a conversation that now I have to take up with God. And like, I'm a murderer at this point. So you don't understand where a nigga have to give up $400 and maybe like be butt hurt because I don't want to carry a baby. I have to have a talk with my God because we made a 5-minute mistake. So
And
I
that-
just need for that to
But
be.
that has
something
nothing to
that-
do with what I'm
that's why
saying.
I said, Rico, no.
It is. You
You
said
said that.
You
No, it's not.
said-
What I said is, let's make this very clear. If a man tells you that he wants to keep the baby and the woman goes and gets rid of the baby,
And it's okay with us.
It's okay.
It's not okay with us. It's not okay
Oh,
with
it's
us.
society.
But she said it was a flip way
It's not
too.
okay,
It was
honey.
a
It's
other
not
way
okay.
too.
We hurt. Having an abortion is painful.
Yeah, people
Having
think
an abortion
so.
hurts a
But
woman.
you think that that's okay? So you think that you're the only one hurt? See, this is my point in time when it comes to a man,
But you
because
don't have to
y'all
have
don't
that
understand
talk
that
with
there-
God.
y'all
You don't
don't,
have to have
but y'all don't
that.
understand that
That's
there's two
what I'm saying.
people. You don't understand that there's two people. You don't understand that a man had to come inside you, and if that man that decides to rise up to the challenge and says, "I want to keep this baby," and the woman says, "No, I don't want to keep this baby. I got to take it up with my God," and now this man is left without the child that you killed.
No, me, if I was
so
in that
hurt.
situation,
Because-
I would talk it out because I understand that. I have 2 kids. I'm not so willing to
There's
have an
no
abortion.
choice.
That's we're gonna take this shot right after Aaron answers this question, regardless. Right?
Truthfully.
So my thing is this, that you, just to recite what you said to make sure I understand, is that, you know, a man has to take into consideration that a woman has to undergo all the things that comes with being pregnant and carrying a baby, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right? But my thing is, I feel like it's unfair, right, when a man has to take in consideration of that. But when a man, because there are men who may be 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, they're not financially stable, their life is in shambles, they don't have nothing going on, and they're not in a position to be what you're demanding him to be and what is required for him to be, right? So I'm just trying to say that I don't think it's fair on either playing grounds.
My
Make
question-
better decisions.
No,
That's
yeah.
sexy.
Life is unfair. Make better decisions.
Period.